G'day, Gary.
Morning.
I gather you're the Mythbuster?
Well, we're going to sort out this emission stuff, yes.
Cameron Wood.
Hey, Cameron. Pleased to meet you.
Gary, Jason Drager.
JD.
Let's go upstairs and talk about some emissions that are set for Australia.
Do some work.
Let's go. Well, good morning. We're joined by Gary Fooks. How are you today, Gary?
Pretty good.
Look, thanks very much for coming and joining us here at Telwater. I guess as a outboard distributor and a boat manufacturer, these new emission laws that are coming into play are really a big thing for us, and we really need to know what's happening, especially as there's so much misinformation, conjecture, speculation, and, well, just gossip, really.
What, rumour amongst fishermen? No, never.
Surprising, isn't it? Yeah. Gary, but I guess to start off with, who are you, and tell us what do you get involved for?
Okay, I'm a very ordinary brim fisherman, catch and release comps I used to do. I'm chairman of the Blue Sky Alliance, which is really a club with two members, the power equipment industry and some of the marine industry. And in 2015 I was the Environment Minister's Clean Air Champion.
So Gary, there's a lot of talk about these emissions that have been set for Australia for a very long time. Can you tell us what they actually mean to Australia and when will they be implemented?
What it means is we'll catch up to world standards. The USA standard started in 2008, so we're 20 years behind the USA. 75% of the world, USA, Europe, Japan, Canada, all have standards. In fact, China started in 2011, so 6 years ago. So
it blows me away we're behind China.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Everyone talks about them being the world's most polluting country. Yeah. It sounds like we are.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, but there we are.
So you've said that they're coming into play. We were talking earlier, and you mentioned that there's basically three types of sort of outboards, as there were.
Yeah, look, let's talk about the standards and what's actually coming, just for a second. First of all, these are not a ban on anything. What you own now isn't being banned. That's a nonsense word. It is a emission standards and things past that standard. What passes the world standard, and it's a universal standard now, what passes the world standard for marine, and that's everything that's petrol driven for the moment, from PWCs, outboards, inboard stern drives, what passes for petrol ones is a certain number, which is 30 grams per kilowatt hour, TECO. But what actually passes is direct injection engines and four-stroke engines pass. What doesn't pass is carby two-strokes and fuel-injected two-strokes. Let me give you a scale for this. We looked at some numbers before here, and I'll plant them up again. We've got two engines side by side. Your lovely 150 horsepower direct injection engine and the market leader 15 horsepower pre-mixed two-stroke. You've got old-fashioned, mix the oil and petrol together and pour them in the fuel tank, yeah? Which one's more polluting, a 15 horsepower or 150 horsepower? Well, we did the actual numbers, and the based on the US EPA database, the government certified database submitted by the manufacturers themselves, the carby two-stroke 15 horsepower has got twice the pollution per hour, twice the emissions per hour of a 150 horsepower direct injection engine. That's the benchmark. Basically, we're closing off the door to engines that are 11 times, 25 times, sometimes 39 times as polluting as the compliant engine. It's not just outboards, by the way, it's all small engines, non-road engines, so lawn mowers, generators, chainsaws, they all have different standards. In marine, as I said, direct injection and four-stroke all pass. In ground-supported equipment like lawnmowers and generators, it's the four-strokes that will pass there because there's no DI at that level. And for lightweight equipment like chainsaws that have to be operated upside down and brush cutters, they get a softer standard, and the better quality ones of those will be mostly two-strokes. So it's not a ban on something, it's a standard.
So I guess for Cameron and I, we face a lot of questions at boat shows and in dealerships when visiting there. We chat with many customers. There's a lot of talk right now about the phase out with the non-compliant engines and consumers concerned that they will no longer be able to use their boats or engines once the phase out dates are implemented.
Okay, that's a silly rumour to go around. I don't know where they start from, but okay. Anything you own now won't be banned. It's there to stay. I own a two-stroke chainsaw that's probably pretty ordinary quality, bought it really cheap. I use it twice a year. It's going to stay. I'm not getting rid of that. I'm Mr. Greenie. Nothing you own now will be banned. There was never on the radar. From 2018, July 2018, you can't import any more non-compliant engines. Dealers will have a year to get rid of the old stock, another 12 months. After that, you'll still be able to get spare parts. There's no ban on what you own now. What it is a standard that will save lives. 3,000 people a year in Australia die from the effects of air pollution. Now, we're not going to solve all the problems, but these small engines combined, mowers and outboards and stuff, add up to about 10% of Australia's air pollution rate. Because we're going from engines here that were 15 twice as polluting as 150 horsepower, because we're taking them off the market, eventually we'll save about 9% of air pollution. That translates to about 270 lives a year will be saved. Not just worry about trees and fish and other things. This is human lives we're talking about. 270 lives is more than the national drowning statistic. So it's not insignificant what we can do here.
There's not better reason to do it than that, then, is there really?
Oh, look, true. It's not just that as well. We're all responsible fishermen, and we don't throw our rubbish over the boat sides anymore. We catch and release, we send back the small fish. This is just an extension of the same thing. We're responsible users of the outdoors. These are clean engines, and we're getting benefits as well. Sure, we've had green zones, but we've got the opposite of that now. We've got freshwater lakes being opened up. Lentils has opened up to bigger engines. Wivenhoe in Queensland's opened up to bigger engines. I'm working on things in South Australia with people there, and in Tasmania as well, to open up more fishing zones, more boating zones to clean engines. It's all positive.
So by clearing the air, we're actually getting more places to fish.
Yeah, how about that?
How great.
I know as an engine distributor, we're certainly looking forward to the implement of non-compliant engines, that's for sure, and to start cleaning up the industry a little bit.
Your products are great, and they meet the market needs. They've been sold in Europe, USA, they're here to stay. Yep, you're ready.
If there was one last thing you'd like to say today, Gary?
Don't fear the change. This is not meant to be a tax on fishing or a beating up of the boating public. This will open up more fishing zones, make boating more responsible. It's just part of growing up. Win-win.
Excellent, mate. You have a great day.
Thanks, tight lines.